Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the differences between the Waterfall model and the Agile model when it comes to software development and the management of these software projects. Before we begin, I just want to let you know that there are timestamps in the video description, so feel free to jump ahead to find the part that's most relevant to you. Alright, on with the video. If you're like me, you probably look up in awe at the world's most popular software and apps with user bases numbering in the billions, and then you compare them to the crappy CLI application you made for a class project. How do you bridge that gap between being an amateur developer to becoming a professional software engineer? Well, in my opinion, the difference is all in the planning and the management of the project. Think about it. When architects and structural engineers are given a multi-million-dollar project to construct a new skyscraper, do you see them starting immediately on day one? Of course not. They spend a significant amount of time planning the ins and outs of the project before they even lay a single block of concrete. Following that line of logic, why is it then that when most of us get a new software project or coding project, we tend to avoid or ignore all of the overhead of planning and jump headfirst into the code? It's simple. If you want to build great software, you need to have a great plan of attack. In the tech industry, there are two main opposing models of how we should manage our software projects, and those are the Waterfall model and the Agile model. In the Waterfall model, all of the stakeholders first meet to plan the entire project, and then the software engineering team steps in to begin building the project in phases like analysis, design, development, testing, deployment, and maintenance. There is no interaction with any customers or users while the product is being developed, and the user only gets to see the product once all development has ended. Of course, engineers love this because they have a very clear roadmap of what they need to do, and they don't have to interact with any clients or customers. Although this is the traditional way for building software and it's still very popular to this day, it has its problems. As developers, we know that most projects don't start out fully fleshed out, and most times project requirements have to change or evolve over time. Now, the waterfall model does not accommodate for these changes. On top of that, the client doesn't get to see any return on their investment until the entire product has been developed. What if the project took 6 months to build and cost $500,000, but the client hates the final product? That's $500,000 and hundreds of hours gone down the toilet. For these reasons, I often don't recommend that you use the waterfall model in your project unless you're building an application where you can't afford to make any mistakes, such as in banking or healthcare. Enter Agile, a more modern model for project management that has been adopted by almost every major software engineering company on Earth. Rather than building software in distinct phases, it takes a more iterative approach. In my opinion, the concept which is most central to Agile is a tight feedback loop which must exist between developers and clients. The priority here is to ensure the client's satisfaction, and you do this by having a continuous dialogue with the client throughout your development. You plan regular releases, such as once a week or once a month, where you deliver a new feature to your users during each release, and that's how you gain feedback and unique insights from your users, which you then take and use to improve the application incrementally. Why is this better than waterfall? Well, if your client doesn't like something about the product, believe me, you'll find out early on, and you'll have the room to fix it. You'll have a more flexible roadmap, which allows you to react quickly to customer feedback to make changes. There is no final product. We're constantly improving the features and the user experience of your application, which is definitely the way forward if you want to build a popular application that your users will love. A popular saying in tech culture that really embodies the spirit of Agile is move fast and break things, a motto that was introduced by Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook during their early startup days. Now, Agile is relatively new compared to Waterfall, but the concepts have been around for more than 20 years. If you search online for resources on Agile, you'll probably feel overwhelmed with the amount of information that's out there. Honestly, I'll probably end up making more videos on Agile in the future because there's just so much that we could talk about. For the time being, here are 3 ways that you can start implementing Agile in your own software projects. Number 1, start with user stories. A user story is a short description of a feature in your application from the user's perspective. For example, if you're building a social media app like Instagram, one of your user stories could be, as an influencer, I want to post videos on my feed so that my audience can more deeply engage with my message and my content. Keeping these user stories in mind will help you stay focused on implementing features that users actually want and care about. Number 2, release new features or updates regularly. Plan for a regular release schedule of once every 1 to 4 weeks and stick to it. This will allow you to incrementally improve your application while gaining regular feedback from the users for each new feature that you develop. Number 3, get regular feedback from your users, your client, or your customer at least once a week. Agile emphasizes the importance of collaboration for a reason. You need to constantly engage with the client to show them the product's progress and to make sure that they're actually satisfied with what you're building. Now, I know that this video was heavily opinionated, and I bet that there are a bunch of people who disagree with me when it comes to Waterfall versus Agile, especially considering the fact that I just spent this entire video trashing the Waterfall model. However, I stand by what I said, and I still believe that implementing Agile in your own software projects will make you a much more productive software engineer. If you want me to take a deeper dive into Agile concepts in future videos, or if you have any thoughts of your own on the matter, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.